From Green Building Pro, this is Green Talk. I'm Mitchell Funk, editor for Green Building Pro. Joining me today is Matt Golding, president and founder at Recurve Software. Thank you for joining us today, Matt.
Pleasure.
Yeah. Well, we're here to talk about Recurve, the company, and about the software you've created for contractors. I'd like to ask you a first question here. What motivated you to develop a software tool for contractors, and what are your goals with the software?
Well, it's pretty simple. Prior to getting into a software development business, we were a contracting company. In fact, we are a contracting company. So what motivated us was simply the kind of the reality check of trying to take whole house home performance to scale, and recognizing that within kind of building science and home performance, there are many, if not all, of the answers that we need to make homes perform a whole hell of a lot better in terms of energy and health and comfort. But a lot of these principles are really hard to apply in the real world. And the business model for home performance has been very difficult to actually maintain profitably. And a lot of that has to do with the complexity of what we're doing and the limitations of the tool set that contractors have at their disposal. So we like to say that our tagline is by contractors for contractors. So it's really designed to kind of bring all the fancy computer science to the house and deliver it in a way that's kind of embedded in your business practice. So you might be doing whole house simulation and load calculation and all sorts of complicated things. But to the extent that's possible, that's kind of pushed behind, what you're actually needing to do to estimate a job and put a solution together, and making a lot of the complicated computer science and building science kind of a secondary component of what you're doing on site.
That's great. Well, how have software programs, just to go along with that, impacted the contractor industry in terms of, say, cost estimating, project management?
To varying degrees. Our industry, the home performance industry, which is really what we focus on at Recurve, is very reliant on software for a variety of reasons. Partly the rebate programs we participate in, and kind of the ability to predict whole house energy savings is kind of the crux of home performance. It's not about individual pieces, but it's about what do you accomplish at a whole in terms of comfort and in terms of what happens at the utility meter, basically, the results of your actions. And to do that, you have to think about whole buildings, and it becomes actually quite a bit more complicated to think about. But we've definitely seen a lot of software different pieces of software enter the market. Most of them tuned to kind of two categories: either the production scale, I'm an insulation, HVAC, handyman business, and I'm running small crews doing short jobs, and the other side being like I'm doing $300,000 or $3 million remodels, new construction projects. And the interesting thing about our business, where we found that the tools that are in the market really hasn't worked very well for the home performance industry, is that we have a combination of multiple measures and the complexity that you see in these complicated $100,000, $200,000 jobs and up, with the production schedule of an insulation or an HVAC or a plumber. So it's kind of a unique set of issues that arise, and in a process that's quite a bit different than a lot of these other trades. So it's been creating tools that are really specific to companies that are trying to look at the whole building, look at estimating actual savings, producing kind of whole house work scopes, and then delivering them efficiently.
Yeah, I've read a little bit about that. Do you think, going along with kind of the thought of process, do you feel like there's a drive right now to pair software with process? Do you feel like with software programs that there's kind of a push for collaboration or kind of transparency in the trades?
I would say in a general sense around software, absolutely, but I think there's still a lot of opportunity in the construction sector. That's partially due to the kind of the technology acumen of the companies that are out there, and a lot of the software is not really designed for the type of professionals that are using it in the field in terms of what they're comfortable with, and what their priorities are. I mean, they're just, they're trying to get a job done, and the software, has to enable that. And prior to Recurve, I was in other parts of the software industry, and we used to call it garbage in, garbage out. So like if you don't have something that's actually improved someone's job, if I'm an auditor, and an auditor is functionally a salesperson, if I have a piece of software that's not helping me sell and price properly, I don't want to use it. And that's a lot of what we see, is like a lot of the software is compliance tools for a program or something. And so it's a second thing that just takes time and money out of my pocket, basically. And you get garbage inputs in and you get garbage inputs out. So if you build a tool that's really designed to help the process of that person that's using it be more efficient in what they really do and what they make money in, then the ancillary benefit is you get so much better energy predictions and other things out the back end as well. And that's, again, not unique to this industry. That was kind of a rule of thumb in the CRM industry. If you build a CRM, a customer relationship management system, that's only about producing great reports for the boss, you get really, the people in the field don't use it, and you get really bad reports to the boss anyways. And so you can always marry this functionality, like the user functionality, with kind of some of the other goals you might have for the software.
I completely agree. I think a lot of times software kind of frustrates people, and in the trades particularly. In addition to that, so speaking of this software being written for specific uses, how has the reception been among professionals that you guys have talked to?
So we're just really reaching the market in kind of a broad sense, and so it's been really warmly received, really because it's focused on facilitating what they do in the field. It's designed to work on a tablet, go into the house with them, streamline the data collection process, streamline the pricing process of actually costing jobs, because you can have 100% accurate savings, but it's savings and cost together that has to do with payback, right? And that's also one of the things we found is that if you can't, when you're talking about whole home performance, you send an auditor, and they really have to be able to accurately price dozens of things, and this is very complicated. So you have to be able to marry kind of both sides of the business. And our net goal is to allow somebody to go into a house, your average house, and in 2 to 3 hours be able to produce a consumer-ready report that includes the details of the building and the solution with a price, and be able to actually present that at the end of the audit, and be able to move somebody through a sales cycle, while also having all the accuracy and everything else that we traditionally want for other reasons as well. And that's a significant efficiency improvement. We're talking about cutting potentially in half the amount of time that people are spending per home audit, which can often be above 10 hours when you actually add up all the time going back to the office, repricing, generating a report, driving back out to the site. It's really easy. We see people even much higher than that sometimes, and that's really not efficient.
Well, just one last question here. Do you have any advice for current professionals and contractors looking to get into a software program?
Well, in general, there's a huge opportunity in home performance that people should be aware of and should be looking at. Just here in California, in the next really 18 months, maybe even a little less than that now, there's on the order of about $270 million worth of programs that are just about to start. So we have performance-based incentives called Energy Upgrade California that are available in PG&E and SoCal Edison territories, and SMUD, and will be statewide very shortly, which give consumers up to $4,000 worth of rebates towards real performance, which means instead of rebating a furnace and a hot water heater, it's actually you use software to predict the reduction on the whole house, and it's that percent reduction that then drives the rebate amount, which is actually much easier for homeowners to understand, because they think in terms of how much money is their bill going to go down, not the furnace and the insulation and whatnot. It's kind of getting to what people actually value, which is comfort and money. So there's a bunch of drivers like that, and there's also a few $100 million of programs rolling out throughout the state. Santa Barbara, for example, where you guys are located, has a program rolling out as well, where we're going to see quite a bit of marketing. So there's a huge opportunity in this industry that folks should be looking at. Across the whole country, there's maybe $2 billion worth of programs about to roll out. So a lot of these are Recovery Act programs with a lot of ratepayer funds as well. What that is, that's something that's creating market opportunity. So if you're a remodeling contractor, a green builder, an installation contractor, this is a good space to look at, because we're just on the verge of this opportunity to really invest and grow. And so there's a number of things you should do, which is BPI certification for your employees and accreditation for your company, and a lot of training that's available to get into this space. And then when you start evaluating software, it'll actually become relatively apparent, I think, the software that's something that improves your business process or is an addition to your business process. And so at the end of the day, we actually think the software relatively sells itself when contractors are actually looking at what's available and what will actually improve their business versus just kind of meet the minimum bar of doing the calculations.
Well, thank you very much, Matt, for joining us. That was very informational, and we definitely look forward to having you on again. And this has been a production of Green Building Pro. To find out more, visit us online at greenbuildingpro.com.